It is Wednesday, August 30th, 2023, and today is our weekly cult meeting, Wizard Wednesday. Channeling in from the Quantum Downs, this is the Black Goat of the Wood, Elf J Trul, and joining me is...
The orange puppet, Dotta. Hello.
Hello, and Bear is having connection problems, it looks like. Oh, wait, are you there, Bear?
Live from the bear cave, it's
There
Bear.
he
He's on
is.
his way.
Let's go.
There we go. Let's go.
Bear, you've been in an exceptionally good mood lately. Do you want to tell us why?
None of your business. No, it's definitely your business. It's everybody's business. You always do this to me, Elf.
I know. I just want to see you scramble.
Oh yeah, I'm moving around in my chair uncomfortably. No, just it's great when plans start to come together, and seeds eventually grow into little plants, and the little plants grow into bigger plants, and so we're gonna grow a big plant, a big wizard plant. I don't know where I'm going with this metaphor. We got plans.
Yeah, I mean, Bear's news as usual is secrets. So yeah, sorry, we'll tell you. But we should have some things closing this year, so that's exciting.
Yeah, we can't say anything yet, but I will say, like, I did tell the both of you guys today, and I'll paraphrase. I basically said, like, the things that Bear is doing are probably gonna move Forgotten Runes more than anything me or Dota do, like in the future at some point.
And my response was, because that's it's not a ridiculous statement. I'll take the compliment, but I think what's so cool, and sorry, let's just sit up here for an hour and just compliment each other.
That's what we always do.
Oh yeah, shit. We better come up with a new shtick. No, but what I said was, the reason it all works so nicely, and the entire Magic Machine team is a part of this, is like, I can't do my job well unless the both of you guys are doing your job well, and so it's just like me standing alone probably isn't that interesting, but me standing with you guys and the team and the cult is way more interesting. So it all just we all play our part.
True, but Bear, it looks like a lot of the cult is at Burning Man. Why didn't we sing you to Burning Man?
I am so bummed I'm not at Burning Man. I've never been.
Me neither.
I've never been. I do want to. The thing about Burning Man is, one, I love camping, and then two, I love fire, and then three, I love using fire to burn things. And then four or five, whatever number I'm on, I also like having a good time. And so Burning Man is if someone could like create the perfect environment for me, it's probably Burning Man. But I have never gone for whatever reason. Probably because like I have a wife and kids, so that's probably lame. People probably go to Burning Man to have wife and kids. I just haven't gone, but I want to go. I also want to. I think it would be really fun. They have these art cars, if people know about these, where they like people like design and build crazy vehicles. Some are just for like the driver. Some are like basically party buses, and so I think it would be really cool if we can get to a place where we could build like a wizard art car. That'd be sick.
Well, we should probably just recreate the Great Burning at Burning Man.
Yeah, we'll dress you up as a wizard, burn you alive, and then like I'll jump out from your ashes dressed as a salt.
Yeah, I'll come back as a pile of ash. Undesirable.
No, you're not coming back. You're dead. I'm alive. I'm the salt.
If there are any wizards at Burning Man right now and want to report from the ground, come up on stage. But yeah, Bear, I know you and I would have a good time. But you know who would just love Burning Man? I have a feeling is Dotta. I think like Burning Man is just made for someone like Dotta, don't you think?
Yeah, I think Dotta.
I don't know if you're being sarcastic, but I would love to go. I've always wanted to go.
I think Dotta. I think you're the kind of person where you would completely shock us. Like we bring you to Burning Man, and like we see a side of Dotta that we've never seen. Like the puppet,
Exactly.
The puppet just goes off. That's what I think
Yeah.
would happen.
Puppet unleashed.
Yeah,
No
I'd be good
strings.
at Burning Man.
Yeah, no strings. All right, we've got a big show today. We've got a few really fun cult questions to go over. We've got some updates. And then we've got a special guest near the end of the show, the genius who runs the Quest 64 account. I don't know how many people here are familiar with that, but Magus Wazir, the one who rings, introduced it to me, and I know a lot of other cult members have just been loving it. I know the Moron Global is into it. I think Cheddar Bob is into it. And so we've all just been fans of it for like a year, and I finally just decided on a whim to invite him to Wizard Wednesday. So he'll be joining us later. We've also got some lore from Shark Child. So yeah, let's just jump right in.
All right.
I think the first thing I want to let everybody know is Black Sands Racing is back. Very exciting. We are in the Elysian Circuit. There's some new changes this time around. No longer are we racing alone. There's actually 4 teams who are racing. So yeah, I mean, you get to still roll for your pony, but all the points you get are sort of corralled into your team. So the 4 teams are the Emerald Eagles, the Blue Bandits, the Purple Cobras, and the Red Pandas. Um, and then another fun twist is if you have a wizard baby, you get to your wizard baby gets to ride your pony, and so of course I'm using Baby Dotta to ride
Yeah,
my mechanical pony. Yeah,
amazing. What's your
yeah,
pony? I don't think I've seen your pony.
yeah. Let's see. Let me see if I can find it. My pony is I think his name is like Mechanical Microchip. I'm in like 30. I just lost it. I'm not. We're not doing too good, Dota. But I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna roll more tomorrow, and we'll see.
Okay, perfect. I can give you
Um,
some treats if you need them.
okay, cool. And I'm on the Purple Cobras team, which they're in third. So we got some catching up to do.
Mm-hmm.
Ozma Bro is currently in first with Team Emerald Eagles. In second is Night Owl Birdman. He's on the Blue Bandits. And then Bill Gaines, who's a teammate on Purple Cobras, he's in third. So yeah, that's really exciting. I'm glad that Black Sands is back. And then Dota, do you want to update us on Shadows?
Yeah, absolutely. Just while everyone's attention is on it, can someone drop the link to Black Sands in the Secret Tower? So that way, if folks want to join the races or they want to get involved, I wonder if maybe we should put even an announcement in Discord because that way people can know where to go. But yeah, I'm happy to talk about the shadows. So quietly, this week we ended up inscribing the shadows. There's 666 shadow ordinals that have made their way onto the Bitcoin blockchain. Um, there's so much to talk about there. And I think that we'll even do some spaces. We'll do some spaces all about it. We Let's see. I'm not sure our partners are ready for us to announce them. I think that they are okay with it for us to talk about it in Wizard Wednesday. But
Do it.
so we, yeah, huh?
He said, "Do it."
I said do it.
Oh yeah, do it. Yeah. So we worked with Luxor, which was a talented group of folks who worked with us to inscribe the shadows. And so there's several different features that are involved in this process that are a nice touch on top of the artwork. So, well, on the first layer you have the shadows themselves. Maybe do you want to talk about the collection, Elf, and then I can talk about some of the other background.
Yeah, there's 666 shadows. You could think of them as sort of the minions of the original 10 shadow hats. And they are just emerging from the quantum shadow itself. This is a very disturbing development. It is particularly concerning to the white and purple hats as to what The grand design is of the 10 shadow hats with all their 666 shadow minions. That is yet to be seen, but they are released. So prepare your soul.
Yeah, and so they're split up into 10 different bodies, one for each that shadow that they are subservient to. So we have to figure out with the ordinals marketplaces how to get the collect. Uh, but I dropped a link by which you can find them in the secret tower. What the link that I dropped is actually the wallet that holds the shadows. And so it's not the easiest way to look at them, but you can see them. Um, and so they're split up into groups, one group for each shadow hat, right? So there's a group of Illuminatus shadows, there's a group of goat head shadows, a group of bear shadows, a group of Dotta shadows, and so they're split up. So when we actually do the mint, you'll get one of the shadows that are in one of the groups, which are then subservient to their respective shadow. Um, one of the things we've been talking about with regards to the actual satoshis that these are inscribed on, um, what we did is they are all inscribed on satoshis that come from block 666. So this is a very, very early block. I actually wish I knew the year that block 666 was. I believe it's the first year. It's like 2009, 2010. They're very old sats because it's one of the earliest blocks. And so again, our partners were able to help us acquire those. Now, I'm sure that you've heard a little bit about this idea of like rare sats. So what does that mean? So like when you have um, a Bitcoin and a block is mined, a new Bitcoin is created, and then we've given this analogy before that when you spend a Bitcoin, it's a little bit like you're taking a dollar bill and then you're like tearing it in half. And so that's how you can actually track that these sats came all the way back from a block that was mined in on block 666, and so that's where these ordinals are inscribed on. Now, block 666 sats are not necessarily particularly rare insofar as there's a lot of them, right? The number of there's a huge number of sats per Bitcoin, and in those days, actually, I believe the block reward was something like 100 BTC or something stupid. It's like really high. So it's not so much that like 666 sats are incredibly rare, but they weren't exactly that straightforward to get a hold of. And we just think it's a nice touch that to put it on top of these ordinals. Another thing that we did, and then we'll be creating some more visualizations around this as well, is um, we, along with our partners, who will reveal more in detail as I confirm more with them, we actually painted a picture on chain with the idea of the summoning of these ordinals. So, what does that mean? Um, one of the things that we were able to do was to use the transactions on chain to paint a sort of summoning circle that is a circle with these 10 different nodes that draw not exactly a star. I don't know how you would best
It's a
describe it.
decagram.
There you go, a decagram. So the on chain, the way that these were minted, or let's say inscribed, actually, when you plot out the transaction graph between the process, it creates a decagram inside a circle. And so, as we kind of like put together more materials for this, we will have a visualization where you can actually replay the transactions and see this summoning circle being recreated on chain. So the way that this works, if you're interested technically, for those connoisseurs in the audience, is each one of the shadow hats was moved out of my wallet into a new address. And then from there, each shadow hat contributed from their wallet sats to kind of come together and summon each one of the shadows. And the result, where it's sending these shadows from two wallets of the shadows into the wallet of a third shadow, is what will paint this decagram on chain. So if that's a bit abstract, that's perfectly understandable. We'll put together some illustrations. But what I can tell you is that we took every care to kind of mint these in a very like artistic and specific way. And so we're just very, very proud of like using the medium of the blockchain in a way that you can only do on chain, along with some really beautiful art, which was painted by Elf and created by Elf. And um, well, it all wraps up into like a very, very fun collection. Yeah.
To say
Isn't
what
this the first time that someone has sort of created this imagery based on how they're inscribed?
Yes, as far as we know, yeah. And I'd be remiss without to mention Niski, who's not here today. But Niski also put together the code for assembling these on chain in a very efficient way. We're actually using recursive inscriptions such that the sprites are actually assembled. Um, well, I don't mean to get too bogged down in the technical details, but these are recursive inscriptions where each ordinal is inscribed using a bit of code written by Niski as well. So it was a whole team effort. So, but yes, as far as we know, this is the first time anyone has like taken the effort to basically draw a picture on chain with their ordinal inscription collection. So,
to,
huge shout out to our partners, and it looks really good.
yeah, to be clear, we drew a 10-point star on the Bitcoin network in order to properly summon these demons. We couldn't summon them without this proper 10-point star. And so I believe we are the first in crypto history to do something like this. And of course we are. We're wizards, and so yeah, these demons are literally summoned from a 10-point star circle on the Bitcoin network. They're very special. They're on block 666. And Dotta, when are we gonna actually put these up for sale? Do we know that yet?
No, we don't know. I think that probably the closer to the halvening is probably a good idea, but who
Interesting.
knows? Maybe folks will sort of be so enamored with the process and the collection that we'll end up doing it sooner.
Awesome. Yeah, it's very exciting, and yeah, I think we'll bring the Luxor guys on either next week or the week after. They're really cool guys. They're really creative. What I like about them is they're not just like Bitcoin maxi guys. They're interested in using Bitcoin in really innovative ways. So they were a great partner with us.
Absolutely, yeah, really talented.
Okay, cool. Let's go to some questions. Adept Igduel, they've got a question about. They noticed that the Wizards' hat colors and eye colors match. And basically, the question is because the Wizards' eye colors match their hat colors, does that mean the Wizards were born into these factions? I would say no. I don't think that's what that means. I think, first of all, the hat colors are just like any sort of political affiliation or religious affiliation. Sometimes people are born into them. Sometimes people join them late in life. Sometimes it just depends on the region you're born into. There's just a myriad different ways that you can join a political faction, and the wizard hat colors are no different. But that said, I imagine that once you do join a hat color faction, depending on your sort of zealous passion for that hat color, I think the magic will sort of change your eye color over time. I think that's what's happening. Is yeah, in any of the more devout adherents to their hat color, their eyes probably just change over time to match their hat color. That's my suspicion. Okay, and then Snoop Dogg is asking a really fun lore question. Is the Runiverse part of a multiverse or not? And if it is part of a multiverse, why does the universe matter if there are infinite multiverses? I think he means if there's infinite universes within the multiverse. And then he's also asking, if it's not part of a multiverse, then how is it possible there are chronomancers? I love really complex questions like this. So here's my answer. I think the universe is definitely part of a multiverse, because I think that all worlds, including the one that you're physically sitting in right now, including the quantum downs, I think they're all part of a multiverse. And when I say multiverse, I'm talking about the scientific descriptions of multiverses, such as inflationary multiverses and parallel universes. I'm talking about that. And I'm talking about the collection of fictional worlds created by artists and writers and creators through time, such as the Marvel Universe, Middle Earth, Star Wars Galaxy, the Runiverse. Um, this is all sort of collectively a meta multiverse, which also includes uh, Plato's world of forms and the Matrix and cyberspace and the internet, and the world of mathematics.
Bear space, all of it.
Bear space, yes, very important one. Um, and what's great is we get to interact with all of these different worlds in the multiverse in various ways through different doors. And so, to your question as to why do any of these worlds matter, I would say, well, it's because you and the ones you love are in them or interact with them. The question of why does anything matter is relative, I think. It can only be answered by you because the state of mattering is defined by you. As to the existence of chronomancers, I'm not sure how much time manipulation actually affects the multiverse. Because how does time manipulation work? Does it work in accordance with our scientific understanding of four-dimensional space-time, or do chronomancers only manipulate the psychological perception of time? My guess is that there are forms of chronomancy in both camps, though I'm leaning more towards the psychological manipulation, just because Einstein's theory of general relativity involves gravity being the force that curves the geometry of space-time. So that would suggest a chronomancer is someone who uses gravitational fields to manipulate time. And that just seems too powerful. But who knows? There's maybe a few chronomancers out there who can do just that. So that was a really fun question, Snoop Dogg. I hope I answered it to your satisfaction. Flow 93 is asking, what's
Wait,
up?
before we leave that,
Sure.
as I start to understand relativity more, something came across my radar which I can't quite comprehend, which is this idea that, like, we always talk about the speed of light being, whatever it is, 186,000 miles per second. But in fact, the perception of time from the photon's perspective is that it moves instantly. And that's very curious. So, like, if you could sort of like ride the photon, so to speak, we always look out in the stars and we say, oh, that star is like billions of light years away, and we're the light that we're seeing might not even be there anymore because that star might have blown up billions of years ago.
Right.
And so we're looking into the past, right? This thing we always hear. But what you don't actually hear is like the opposite, which is like if you were like riding that photon from the star, your perception of it would be that it happened instantly. Um, that's very curious. Matto, you know more about this than I do. Care to add
Yeah,
anything?
yeah. What you're saying is that it's pretty much it. It's because from the perspective of a photon, because nothing can move faster than the speed of light, and so when you get increasingly to that speed, everything kind of collapses into one single instance in a sense. So like and there's actually some I think I posted about this before, that there's one theory for how quantum entanglement works is that rather than and quantum entanglement, just for quickly over, it's that two entangled particles, when they're separated between, like, you can separate them vastly across points of the universe, and manipulating one of them will actually send data instantaneously to the other, which should be impossible because that's faster than the speed of light. So one theory about that is that it's rather than information traveling at the speed of light, it's more that when you mess with that particle, from the perspective of that particle, it happens in its past and its future at the same time, rather than separate events. So really quirky stuff. But yeah, it's really interesting when the closer you get to the speed of light, the less time seems to make sense, is probably a better way of putting it. Time makes less and less sense the closer you get to the speed of light, because it just all breaks down the whole concept of it.
Chronomancers are kind of OP, which is why I put them in the Riviera and had them only use their insane power for partying and staying young. You'll never convince a Chronomancer to do anything beyond that, or at least it would be very difficult. Yeah, this is what I love about Forgotten Runes. It's really just an intersection of science fiction and fantasy. If you dig deep enough in fantasy, it starts to become science fiction, and vice versa, really. Some science fiction is so wild that it just seems pure magic and fantasy, or some science, really.
Yeah.
So. Okay, Flow93, Magic Machine team, did you guys ever consider buying Wizards at this price, or if the price drops further? Yeah, we do. I don't know, Dotta, do you have a reply?
Why would you think we haven't?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
I'll tell you one thing, Dotta. We did not keep enough Wizards art for ourselves at launch.
We've got a nice bag now.
Yeah. I mean, I think the most infamous example, though, is that Dotta doesn't even own his Dotta Wizard. But you have the ordinal version.
That's like someone who has an honorary wizard sells it. Dotta, you sold your own wizard. You can't hate on anyone for selling anything ever.
I suppose not.
To be clear, though, Dotta didn't sell, like, it wasn't in his wallet and then he sold it. It just, like, it got minted. Like,
yeah, it was more from naivety than anything else.
Yeah. But yeah, Flo, we're always talking about buying Wizards, and we may have bought some already, and we might
Give a
buy some
hoot.
more in the future.
Hoot says Magic Machine Lud Lumos confirmed, and I can confirm that that's not me. I actually don't know who Lud Lumos is.
I also am like 99% sure that no one would be able to guess who it is. It's not like someone that everybody's like, who is this all day long? If that makes sense, I don't think we're guessable.
I think that sounds like a challenge. I'm sure someone can figure it out.
You just called all the detectives.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just called the on-chain sleuths.
Just kidding, we're lewd.
They'll figure it out in 5 minutes. Okay, and then Shark Child, I actually like this question as well because there's some exciting things happening with this. Shark Child is basically asking when Scree, which I think means when Goblin Town.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we can talk about all of the exciting things with Goblin Town, but what we can talk about is the fact that we're actually going to launch it, so that's good. I didn't expect it to take a year, but there it is. I think that we have had some breakthroughs in terms of the tokenomics, in terms of the gameplay loops in a way that works, making the economy work. So, yeah, still progressing. Don't have a deadline. We have the trailer mostly done. It looks super good, and we're excited to play it. But I don't think that it will be in September. If I had to guess, I don't think it'll be in September.
Okay. Yeah, probably not. I'm just. I guess I can't say anything specific, but I guess I would just say we're reaching a sort of turning point with it, in a good way, turning towards finally launching it, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to get a hold of Quest 64 to see if he's around. I just sent him a DM. I think he'll join any second. Okay, I think that's all the questions we have, actually. Yeah, a few other things. So Cheddar Bob showed me this really cool on-chain art thing called Base Paint the other day. And then I got a DM from Artsy about maybe doing a collab with it. So let me just briefly describe what it is. It's a pixel canvas that renews every 24 hours. You connect your crypto wallet to it, and you can draw on it in a collaborative way with any number of people. After the 24 hours, whatever is drawn on the canvas gets minted, and then if and when it sells, everybody who drew on it will get a portion of that sale. And so Artsy was saying we should organize one of these with the cult.
How do they? Can someone explain the more mechanics in more detail? Because it's not just like Reddit draws. It's not like our place where anyone can draw on it, right? Isn't there like some sort of allow list, or you have to buy a brush or something? How does that work?
Yeah, I'm not an expert on it, but from what I can tell is I think you can connect and draw, but to actually commit the drawing, yeah, you have to buy a brush. Um,
Can
and then,
somebody come on stage and explain the details if you know?
yeah, I'm not here to explain the details. All I wanted to say is if the cult is interested in doing a group like a cult canvas, somebody organize it. I'm not going to organize it, but I just wanted to like put it out there that I think there's interest in doing so.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, it looks really cool though. It looks really cool, and it'd be great if Forgotten Runes had one.
Yeah, I've really appreciated the art that came through. It looks so good, which makes me think like there's no way that it's like just publicly open because some people just want to see the world burn.
Yeah. So far, all of the art has looked good. Nothing that's over the line, so to speak. But okay, Quest 64 said he'll be here in about 5 minutes. I'm so excited for this. Yeah, I hope you guys all looked at his account. I think he's like a genius meme lord comparable to Magus Wazir. Um, okay, let me tell a fun story that happened to me 2 weeks ago. About I fell victim to my first crypto scam. And I really just tell this as a cautionary tale, even though it makes me sound like a total moron. So do you remember, what was it, 2 weeks ago that cool NFT project called Boys of Summer launched? Do you guys remember that?
Yeah. Wait, how much are Boys of Summer right now? Because I remember that we loved it, and
Yeah.
well, let's see.
Yeah, I don't know how much they are now, but I know that when they launched, I was really excited to mint one. I couldn't get on the mint list. Dotta, I think you got one. I think Jitsi maybe got one.
I got it on secondary. I got it for like
Okay.
0.25 or something, and then sold it on the way back down for about the same. They're 0.12 right now, if anyone's wondering.
Yeah, they're really cool. What I liked about it is it had this like a real MFA thesis vibe to it, which I appreciated. And I just wanted to buy one so bad, and I didn't get in. And then later that night, somebody added me on Twitter, and it was from the Boys of Summer account, and it said, "We're opening the mint to our Twitter followers. Go mint now." And I just, like an idiot, I immediately clicked the link, went to this quote mint site, and it said, this should have been my first tip off. It said, mint 2, get 1 3. Who does that? But I thought it was real. And so I immediately tried to mint 2, sent like $400 of ETH, and waited. No NFT showed up. Waited. No NFT showed up. After about 30 minutes, I was like, where the hell's my NFTs? And then I came back to Twitter to look at who added me, and it was clearly a fake account. They had 0 followers. And I felt like a moron because that's like the first crypto scam I've ever fallen for in I don't know how long.
And that's how I scammed an evil goat.
Wait. But it wasn't a drainer though. It was just like a submit. You just sent ETH to it, and then that's it.
Yeah,
Okay, it could have been a lot worse. I'm
know,
very
dude.
sorry that happened to you, but that could have been a lot worse. You just kind of manually handed it to them.
No, it really could have, because once I realized it was a scam, I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna lose all my NFTs, all the ETH in my wallet. I started transferring NFTs to my cold storage, but yeah, luckily they didn't drain my wallet. They just took the ETH that I sent. Could have been worse.
That's good.
So stay vigilant, y'all. Don't fall for stupid scams like I just did.
Yeah.
Oz,
I've set
hello.
up. If you don't have like a minting wallet set up separate from like where you keep your value, that's your queue.
Yeah, that's a good point. Oz, hello.
Hey, Elf.
Hey, what's
everyone.
up?
Hey.
Just wanted to add some information about the base paint. I've been painting for the last 2 days.
Great.
Thanks to Chatabob as well for tagging me in the first place, and then they reached out. So you can mint a brush, and you get 100 pixels to paint in the board, which goes for 24 hours. And in that meantime, anyone can paint anywhere, including on top of your stuff that you painted. So if you get an invite, you have a bronze brush, which they will be updating later on, and having like silver brush for more pixels and etc. So so I got the bronze brush, which gives you 500 pixels, and then you can paint during these 24 hours. And I took part in 2 boards so far, but both paintings I did were overwritten. But I guess this is very common because people are all the time like chatting about it. There's a live chat where you can talk about what's going on. But I mean, it's a lot of people, like 400 artists or even more sometimes. But the cool thing is that even if your work is not showing in the final piece because you maybe drew too early, you still get to split the profits amongst everybody who painted in the board. And the paint renews. I mean, the pixels you have renews every day, so you can just paint again and make that a hobby if you like.
That's such a good idea to pay out according to the pixels painted, but not just the final layer, because then otherwise you'd incentivize people to just like draw over other people, or at least now like it's an artistic choice, not a monetary one.
Yeah, I think it's cool, and there is also other benefits from having better brushes besides having more pixels. Is that you can in the final 20 minutes, normal brushes cannot paint anymore, but the bronze brushes could. So if you really want to stick something in the picture, you can do that by the end of before it closes.
So I see that they have on their website you can mint a brush, but then they say apply here to get a brush. And so that the idea is just that like if you apply, then you get a brush that gives you 50 times more pixels. Is that what it says?
Yeah. Actually, it's 5 times. Like I think if you mint a normal brush, you get 100 pixels.
Got it.
And then if you are invited, you get 500.
What's the process
That's
like? Do you like submit a
great.
portfolio?
Sorry.
What's the process like? Do you like submit a portfolio to them or something, or?
There's just a
But I
form.
don't think it's too difficult to be invited. Like Chatabob tagged me and they checked in my Twitter account. They probably saw the post that was pinned in my profile and they invited me. So
So it's so easy. You just have to be as good as Oz and they just let you right in. Super easy.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure if you tag people that you like their work, they will check in and we'll invite them.
It's a really fun idea. I love it.
Yeah, well, at least for what I could notice, they are looking forward to have more people. So I don't think their radar like is too narrow right now.
And then it looks like there's like a palette each day. It seems that there's like a fixed set of colors each day.
Yeah, there is a palette and there is a theme. So yesterday's theme was cyberpunk, and today's is Xcopy. So it's
Oh,
it's
that's
often
cool.
a trending, and I think I personally love the results. Like even though my drawings were erased, but I think it's nice to participate and stuff.
There's so much you could do with this, right? I think this is such a good model for creative collaboration in lots of different ways, right? Because there's never been a way to compensate artists on a per pixel basis for their work, right? Not like this. Um, and so you could imagine other ways of collaboration that are able to track the creativity down to this resolution. Um, one of the things I've been really want to do is maps for the Runiverse, and then, but like not everybody is a cartographer, right? And so, what might it look like where instead of here you're not only drawing a picture, but like you're drawing a town, for example, like you're collaborating on a map of Alistair's Keep or something. So there's just so once one of the things I love about crypto is that when people discover these new ideas, then there's all sorts of variations on those ideas that then become possible because we realize what's possible, I suppose. So where's Base 64? Is he coming for us?
Yeah, he's here.
Quest
Oh wait, I
64.
think he's here.
Hey. Okay, good.
Quest, are you there? Uh, you're muted now.
Yeah, just unmute.
Press the little mic button. He told me this is his first space.
Oh, probably why he took so long is because he tried to join on his computer and then had to set up his phone. That's like what
Oh
always.
yeah. Quest, we can't hear you. You gotta press the little mic button in the bottom left.
Yeah, I wonder if they're still on desktop and now they're switching to mobile or something.
Yeah, you gotta also have to be on your phone. You can't use a computer.
I can talk about the Words app while we wait,
Oh wait,
or maybe after. There we go. Oh no,
are you there?
now
Oh no, he's gone. Okay.
gone.
Okay, go ahead, Dotta. I'm gonna
So
try
some other things we've got today. We've got to go over the Cult Content Chronicle. We've got lore from Shark Child. I think those are the other big things. Well, we lost Bear. So fine. I have the stage. I'm going to talk. Okay, here we go. Quest 64. Let's see. Can now speak. Quest, can you unmute? Oh, so close. So close.
Give it a minute. Unmute.
All right. Yeah, I had to switch from desktop to mobile. I heard you guys talking.
There he is.
There it is.
Amazing! You made it.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Quest. I just want to introduce everybody to you. So, Wizards, we've got a very special guest today. We've had very special guests in the past. We have had Alexis Ohanian, the founder of Reddit. We've had Christian Nairn, the actor who played Hodor from Game of Thrones. We've had Derek Kolstad, the creator of the John Wick franchise. But now we have Mike, the creator of the official Quest 64 Twitter account, and I could not be more excited. Welcome, Mike. Are you there, Mike? Uh-oh.
Quite the build up for a gimmick Twitter account kind of thing.
Mike, can you talk?
Yeah.
It says my mic is on. Are we not hearing?
Okay, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah. Mike, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and thanks for putting me behind the founder of Reddit and Hodor and stuff too. So that's great.
Well, my point is that I think you're kind of sitting on top of all these giants, because I'll tell you this much: I don't think I've laughed harder at any of their Twitter accounts than I have at yours. So that's something.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, so Mike, I just have a bunch of random questions for you. I mean, the Twitter account you made is just so interesting. I think my first question is like, do you actually like the game Quest 64, or are you just sort of like using it as a joke?
No, it is legit my favorite game. I have a big. If you've seen the picture of there's like a curio cabinet or a display cabinet with a bunch of that's in my living room at my house. So I've got a lot of copies and a shrine for it and a bunch of other stuff. But no, it's been my favorite game for forever.
Wait, you really have a Quest 64 shrine in your house?
Yeah, it's in the living room right next to where the TV is and stuff like that.
Amazing. Okay. Yeah, I mean, just because like the memes that you make around it are very irreverent, and just sort of like the little character Brian. He's just, he's like an avatar for a joke, but he's also like the butt of all the jokes. And so, I couldn't quite tell if like this is a mega fan or someone who just is making fun of the game the whole time. Maybe it's both.
Yeah, I'm not really making fun of the game. The plot or the point of the account was more it's the game's got the really dirty reputation over the last 20 years, and when it came out it had really average reviews, like, and some of them were above average. And between the way that Google algorithms work and popular YouTubers needing to dump on games and there not being enough bad games for them to do that, like Quest has kind of taken a fall. And I thought instead of convincing people to play the game, that it would be easier to just manipulate the way that the internet views Quest 64 without telling them to play the game. So.
Oh man, that is so amazing. That's so smart.
Yeah, it is interesting. And another interesting thing is like the name of your account is Quest 64 Official. So I mean, your average, like, I don't know, Twitter browser might think that you're actually the official account. Do you, like, I'm sure you haven't run into any trouble from the developers of the game who are like, you're not official. Like, has anything like that happened?
No, I mean, just from the average person, yes. But Imagineer doesn't even reach out to acknowledge the game. So I'm not, if anything, it would be like a micro victory if they would like, hey, like cease and desist, please, because you're not, affiliated with the game. That would be the parent company Imagineer actually admitting that they still own the rights to the game, because they also won't respond to emails or anything like that. Because I've offered to buy the IP and all sorts of other things, and nobody ever gets back to me. So.
Wow, if you actually bought the IP, what do you think you would do with it?
I have friends that are making a remake of the game in Unity right now, just like a not for profit, but just because we like the game thing. So I mean, then obviously we'd have the rights, and then we could do whatever we want. Because right now it's kind of the same game of chicken, where we're going to continue making the fan remake of the game until somebody tells us to stop. So
this sounds like a job for Bear. Sorry, I got cut out, but I'm also happy to help with any IP stuff if you want.
Yeah, Bear is really
in such limbo
connected.
that there's not really any specific thing that anybody can help with, because it's just the way that Imagineer keeps making fitness boxing games for the Switch. They just made a fitness Fist of the North Star boxing game that they're releasing or just released. So they don't care about the intellectual property at all. They just own it, and it's because of that it's hard to pin down what the next step would be towards actually owning it. So.
Do they actually still have rights to it, or is it like in like some weird IP limbo like Mischief Makers?
No, they own the rights to it still. It was released or developed by them and then published by a bunch of companies. So it's THQ in the United States and then Konami in Europe, and then they did their own publishing in Japan. But not THQ and Konami don't own any portion of it. They're not a significant portion, at least. So
That's really fascinating. So Mike, one thing that I really like is, and I'm curious if you feel this way or if anyone else feels this way. I feel like 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, the internet used to be so much more weird and interesting and unique, and now it just doesn't. It just feels cleaner and more corporate and commercial. Um, and I feel like accounts like yours are something that we would see regularly on the internet 10 years ago. And so I love that there's people like you doing stuff like this, but I don't know. How do you feel? Do you think the internet used to be more weird than it is now?
Oh yeah, I'm probably older than a significant portion of the people that consume my account. So yes, I remember, when 4chan was prominent and when we were all just hanging out in like Yahoo pool and cribbage lobbies doing weird stuff. And so yeah, I don't know. I wasn't really sure that I've been doing this quest thing for about 10 years, just not on Twitter. I was supposed to be paying a parking ticket one day and the paying portal was down. And that was the same day they announced that you could buy official accounts. You could just buy a check mark on Twitter. And I'm like, oh, I'll do that. And then I looked, I'm like, you know what? No, I don't want to pay for a check mark. So I'll just be the official account. And then we'll just go from there. And then it just kind of caught fire. And that was it.
So is this account 10 years old then?
No, this account's like 7 months old, but I've been doing quest stuff on Facebook, all sorts of places for years. So
you are a super fan. Wow.
What's your
amazing.
What's your favorite thing in Quest 64? What's your favorite part about it?
I just like the lightheartedness of the game and that it doesn't take itself too seriously. Like, everybody dumps that it's like it's like a kiddie RPG or it's like baby's first RPG. It was like, well, if you actually played it, Dragon Warrior or Dragon Quest, depending where you live, it's the exact same kind of game. It's dumps you in the game, it doesn't give you a lot of story and just sends you on your way. It's not easy. It's just being construed wrong. So I like games that don't take themselves too seriously, and that's what has always like drawn me to Quest, I guess. So.
Right.
You sure it's not the Werecats? They're not your favorite part of it?
I mean, there's that too, but
tell me if I'm wrong. Is Quest 64 the only RPG on the Nintendo 64?
No, there's a lot of RPGs. So I'm the Facebook thing. I don't just do Quest on Facebook. I'm the admin of the Nintendo 64 super group on there. So I do a lot of Nintendo 64 history and like trivia and development notes and lost media and stuff like that.
Got it. Okay.
But no, just in the United States, there was Quest 64, there was Aiden Chronicles, there was Ogre Battle, Paper Mario, Hybrid Heaven,
Right.
Gauntlet Legends, but Japan got a ton of exclusives too, including like Custom Robo, which people forgot. That didn't come over until GameCube in the United States. I don't know where you guys are like primarily based, but I do a lot of like regional exclusive Nintendo 64 history and stuff too. So.
And okay, so you're part historian, but then like your memeing abilities are just off the charts. And this might be a really cliche question, but like, how the hell do you come up with such funny memes? They're all just so unique and original and out of nowhere, and I don't know how you do it.
I don't know, just being on the internet for a bunch of years, I guess. It's
you're not like a professional comedian or anything?
No, I'm a USPS letter carrier. So while I walk around and while I deliver mail during the day, I just make memes and respond to corporate accounts on Twitter and just mess around while I'm walking. So
that's great. I love that. Who was that comic strip writer who was like a law clerk? He like worked with Robert Crumb. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't.
No.
Sorry.
I'm gonna
Okay.
ChatGPT though.
What's that, Dotta?
I'll ask ChatGPT.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's great. A letter carrier making the best memes on the internet. That's so good. Um, yeah, I don't know, man. I've been following your account for a while. A lot of people in our community have been following it, and I just out of the blue just wanted to DM you to bring you on and just like sort of pick your brain for a while because it's just such a great account.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Obviously, I looked at what you guys are doing. You gave us some cool stuff, so I'll be lurking around for a while. But yeah, if you have
Yeah.
any other questions, I've got some time. I don't really know what you want to know about it though, so like,
Yeah.
I just think that what you make is art, and we are interested in artists. I mean, and RPGs and Nintendo 64 and being funny online. Like you check all the boxes for us, and we like are just grinning ear to ear just talking with you.
well,
Yeah. I
just
mean,
know that there's not a lot of like time or effort put into it. Like everything I make, very few of them were made like on the computer where I actually had to pull up GIMP or anything like that. It's all made just on a crappy meme generator on my phone while I walk. I don't ever like if it takes more than 2 minutes to make a meme, then I know that I'm putting too much into it, and it's gonna be less rewarding than just slapping Brian's face on a meme that I made like 8 years ago and just change it into a Quest meme. So.
yeah, I will say like one reason that find you interesting and wanted to bring you onto our show is because there is a lot of intersection between what you do and what we're doing. Just real briefly, so obviously our project has a wizard fantasy theme, which
Mhm.
so does Quest 64, and then we're a decentralized IP project on the Ethereum blockchain. So like everybody who owns one of our characters, they literally own the IP and they can meme it, they can build games around it, they can make merch, like anything they want to do, they own the IP. And so, you're playing with an IP that even though you don't own it, you really like sort of just given it new life, and taken your own sort of ownership of it. And so, those were the sort of intersections that I thought were interesting between us. We've certainly got a lot of meme lords and meme artists in our community. But yeah, I just wanted to like just meet the guy behind the Quest 64 meme.
Yeah.
I kind of just want to talk about some of your best stories, working like during your day job stories. Like, how many times have you been bit by a dog? Like, what is like what's the craziest thing that you've ever delivered in the mail? Like, do you have any really fun stories? Now, that's the only thing I've been thinking about ever since you brought it up.
No, it's a lot more boring than it sounds. I mean, it's fun. I enjoy the job in it, so I get to like simultaneously touch grass and be chronically online at the same time. So I'm like I'm both sides of the nerd coin, I guess. But
I don't know.
um,
I call bullshit on no interesting stories.
I've never been bit by a dog. They're not really as big of a problem as people make them seem. It's more like bees and birds. I get attacked by birds all the time, pretty much every summer. And
Why? What do you
Which
do there?
birds?
so I live in Wisconsin, and we have red-winged blackbirds, and they're really like super territorial. So once they make a nest in a tree, they just swoop down. They'll hit like cars, bicyclists, any sort of animal. So I have to sit and like punch them in the bird dick all day long. Like they'll peck your head. They'll like go after every. So I get every summer is birds usually, but
Okay, so
I
not
don't. Yeah,
dogs, not
yeah,
dogs, birds.
always birds. Yeah.
Always birds. That's so interesting. And
You
like,
always have,
have you ever like cracked open an envelope that looked interesting, or that's completely illegal? I guess.
Yeah, no, that's federal property because I'm a federal employee. So that's
Wink, wink,
that's a
wink, wink.
that's a big
DM
no
me.
way.
DM me on the side. DM me on the side with those stories.
But no, I deliver like live animals and stuff. I've delivered like chickens and all sorts like crickets. I don't know, like,
Oh,
and
I've
there's
ordered
been
crickets. I've ordered crickets. I'm surprised that people are using USPS to deliver live chickens. That's interesting.
yeah, Harbor Freight uses us because we're reliable, I guess. But yeah, they just drop chickens off and then people want them delivered the same day, and so I get to cruise around for an hour or so a truck full of chickens. It's lots of
You
fun.
really don't want to hold chickens overnight.
No.
Is your favorite movie The Postman starring Kevin Costner?
No, it's Postal 2 on DVD only.
Can I just point out that you professionally do fetch quest all day, and you also have random encounters with animals during your fetch quest, or you punch them in the bird dick.
Yep.
Yeah, is punch him in the bird dick one of your spells?
Yeah, it's just a slow EXP grind. I'm just working towards maxing out before I retire. So.
Wait, I have a question for Elf. Elf, is there a post? Who delivers the mail in the Runiverse?
Obviously, Mike the mailman, 1,000%.
I think we need to like huddle up and figure out what we're doing here with the Runiverse mail and get
Mike, if we give you a job delivering mail in our fictional world, are you up for it?
What does that entail other than just saying yes?
You have to fight the red-winged blackbird.
There's a lot of bird dicks that need punched, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I'm already doing that, so I should probably continue in the other world. So.
I smell a mobile game coming up called Bird Dick.
That's good, man. Well, Mike, yeah, man, it's been a real honor. You have one of your memes. I went deep in your scroll, and one of them is it's a meme about something like meetings a comedian in real life, and like the image is like a really boring person. You are not that meme. I think you're about as funny as the memes you present. So well done.
Well, thank you. But if you came over to my house, we'd still I'm sitting on my porch right now, so I'm still pretty boring.
but you've got a Quest 64 shrine in your house. That's amazing.
Yeah, I see you posted a pic. I can see the picture of it on the chat thing. It's gotten quite a bit bigger since then, but
wow. That's so cool. All right, Mike. Well, yeah, thanks for coming. I think we're going to end the show with Shark Child. Shark, if you're here and you want to read lore, come on up.
Well, Elf, why don't you explain to our guest what this is exactly?
Yeah, so like I said earlier, we've got a bunch of characters on the blockchain. They're NFTs, and so the people who own them, they write stories and lore around them. And so every once in a while, we end the show with somebody reading the story they wrote about their character. And so Shark Child, yeah, are you with us, buddy?
Yeah, I'm here. Hey, everyone.
Shark!
Woo!
Hey.
Are we going to hear about Orbis, or is this another wizard?
Nah, Charlord of the Garden.
Charlord of the Garden. All right.
Yeah, so Orbis will read us some of his lore. Just before that, 1 second. Give me 30 seconds. I am building a web app that is inspired by FriendTech that will let you buy and sell words. If you are a wizard and you want to try the alpha and or the beta, so the alpha meaning it's on a test net, the beta being a live version, it's maybe a good idea, it's maybe a terrible idea, but it's going to be fun. If you're interested, let me know in, I guess, the alpha chat in Discord, and I'll talk more about it there. But yeah, I'm hoping to get that out live for real, like if not Friday, early next week.
Awesome.
And for all you haters out there, just know we think directionally there's a lot of things to do with PWAs. This is a first little test, but there's a lot of things we feel like are very relevant to the code and what we're building. So
that's right. Yeah. This app is an experiment to build a piece of infrastructure for bigger things. But it still might be fun on its own. We'll see.
And if you have a problem with it, you're going to have to go through me.
Great. So Charlord, Shark Child, are you ready to tell us about Charlord?
Yeah. So his his number is, I believe, is 4585. If you want to check him out. But yeah, Charlotte of the Garden, and I really just this isn't a long piece I'm gonna read. It's more I just felt I've gone through like so much in the last well, this year I would say, just I'm sure a lot of other people have gone through some really heavy ups and downs, and so I really wanted to put out a piece of encouragement, and I felt like Charlord of the Garden is this kind of perfect character to embody a more heartfelt spirit of the Runeverse. So I put a poem together. This isn't like a long piece. It's just a very kind of short, sincere piece, and I wanted to share it with everyone. So this is a poem about Charlord of the Garden.
Great.
Where charred land lies, I will strengthen the soil, plant seeds in its depths, give birth through the toil. Each need fulfilled, a water will come to spring forth a garden for my gentle green thumb. As I tend to this ground, I will tend to you. Against all hardships, I will see you through. I will be your guide in the darkest of night. Against all woes, your healing light. This place has no name, for this place is with you. Wherever you wander, this garden goes too. I will be at your side until your blessings are found, until your heart is gold and a flame of life on you crowned. Sing with me the sweetest hymn. Be filled with peace to your very brim. Renew your magic here and now. Upon the door to your rune, all will bow.
Shark Child, we love
wow.
you, buddy.
Love you, Shark.
Oh, that's great, man. Thank you so much. And that is a great wizard. I love that a flaming head can regrow a charred garden.
Yeah, and then like, yeah, I thought it was I don't know, the name was just had such a dichotomy of like, I just saw it. I just saw like this character can bring like life from desolation. And then I actually I gave the poem to ChatGPT and actually used it for the first time. I'm like, hey, this is a poem about this character. Like, what do you think? And then I also wanted to read this from ChatGPT because I think people can get some good inspiration, like if they submit their lore to it and just like, I don't know, it gives like cool synopsis. And I think it like helps you hone into your characters, and it might like, I think it gives great inspiration. Like I kind of see ChatGPT as like an author. Like it's kind of like a filter. You know how like you use Instagram for your filters for images? You can kind of use ChatGPT as like a filter for your writing to gain greater insight into what you can hone in and like focus on. So yeah, just really quick, this little, because I just found it so interesting. This is what ChatGPT said about Charlord and the poem. It said, Charlord of the Garden is a character who represents the dual powers of destruction and renewal, specifically focused on mending what has been damaged, whether it's land or a relationship. The Charlord is both a gardener of the earth and a healer of hearts, attending to physical and emotional needs. The title combines elements that are seemingly opposed: charred lands, which signify destruction, and the garden, a symbol of life and renewal. This character thus has the transformative power to turn desolation into abundance and sorrow into joy. The poem beautifully captures the essence of Charlord of the Garden, presenting a figure who navigates through darkness and light to cultivate both earth and soul. The dual focus on land and relationship adds layers to the character, suggesting that the Charlord's nurturing qualities extend from the soil to human heart.
I love it.
Yeah.
He's a sensitive little flamehead, isn't he?
And it's just reminiscent of like the idea of how the sequoias are strengthened by forest fires, right? If you suppress the forest fires, the sequoias are actually weakened because like they get infested with pests and bugs. But when you actually let the forest fires rage through the redwoods, then that actually strengthens the trees for a longer period of time.
It's good stuff, man. Awesome. Well, yeah, thanks, Shark Child. Come back anytime. We always love hearing from you. Nurture that scorched garden, buddy. I think we're out of time. Is there anything else?
I mean, we could go through the Cult Chronicle, or unless we're out of time.
Oh, let me see if I can pull that up.
I shared it up top.
I think we should do it.
I think we should do it.
I got it. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Here we go. Okay. Yeah. This is week 32. Week 32. Bear. Every damn week. Am I right?
Every damn week.
Yeah. So let's kick it off. Ozma Bro, beautiful piece. A pot of bugbear war paint. I always love bugbear cult content. The bugbears are some of my favorites. And then Oz also made this really great Starstone amulet, another pixel painting, and then another cult favorite artist, Daniela Illustra, did a portrait of Oz. Really nice piece. Another really nice piece from Daniela Illustra of Two Crows, our old friend Two Crows. Man, I miss that guy. Then Atriox ETH or Steezy did a really fun piece of one of our elephant warriors, Roombor, Raiser of Devils. Magus Devon with a really fun character rig of Magus Devon of the Quantum Downs. Matto, I bought one of these. I think, Bear, you bought one too?
Yeah, we have
I
a
did,
minute.
yeah.
We have a minute. Matto, can you talk about that a bit? And I think the other thing we should talk about right before we end is the comic, the U.S. comic release. We need to talk about that too. But Matto,
Yeah, sure.
could you talk about your VRM for a second?
Yeah, sure. I'm so glad with the response that I got from it. I mean, the markets are pretty like down right now, but there was still like a lot of interest in it. And I've like the model was so good. Like they had so much fun making it, and it was such a great time. Just kind of like communicating with them. Like I think I said before that the team that worked on it, they actually were like I was one of their first collectors for when they first started NFT. So like they've known my character for like a year now or so before they actually started working on it, and they've been like so grateful for me for like giving them like exposure and stuff and like showing them over to other collectors. So they're really excited to work on it, and the model came out so good that it's like I really wanted other people to like be able to have it too. Like even if they don't want to play as Magus Devon, like because it comes with the VRM model to play as. It also comes, but like aside from that, it has like 8 different poses to kind of like cycle through for if you use it like in any kind of like virtual gallery or something. So it's like a 3D. It's a figure that comes with the playable character too. And I think pretty much like all of the stuff that they have on their site for the 3D that they have, they're all like that. That you get like comes with a figure, but it's like you can actually come with a playable character too. And yeah, I think for the mass for like the one that actually sold like the edition version, it has like a slightly different color scheme, which is like it's just like I think the belt is like slightly redder, and then if you notice, the Game Boy is actually purple instead of green that I usually have in all my pictures. That's just slight differentiation for like the mass
Cool.
the mass load one. Yeah, but yeah, I think
Yep.
just really happy that everybody showed like support and I managed to sell out. And I hope everyone who got one has a lot of fun with it. Like, it's really great. They put a lot of great work into it. It has really nice. It has like cloth figures. Even has like facial expressions too. So it has like the face rigged, so it actually blinks and has like mouth movement. I'm actually like thinking about. I'm gonna be streaming like at some point. I like, got like a new webcam. I'm like gonna like mess around. I tried doing it with Mac, but like there's like very little resources on Mac to stream with VRM model. So got one for my desktop. I got a webcam and I'm going to mess around with that. I'll probably do some streaming. I've done some streaming before in Discord for games, but I'll probably use it with my avatars that I actually have something to interact with. So I'm really excited for it. Really cool, and really excited for everybody showing me support for it.
It's so good. I like every detail was beautiful, and then from the different poses to the tune shader to the website, and it was just gorgeous. I loved it.
Thank you so much, Ron.
Yep.
It means a lot.
Yep, and then it looks like Matto also shared a fun clip of a game mod with your wizard in it. Don't know what it is, but it looks cool.
Yeah, it's Yumeniki. It's actually where I get my namesake from, and I've actually talked about it a little bit before. But yeah, I put Magus Devon in there because like it fits perfectly with like a lot of her character is very much inspired by that kind of gameplay and stuff. So it was very fitting. At some point, I'll finish that mod. I've worked on that like a year ago, and like I didn't get back to it, but I'll probably go back. It's just pretty much replacing the sprites. So
Got it. Very cool. And then Feckless made a really fun version of Mr. Nomanis's wizard. I don't think I said that right. But Scryer Angus of the Oasis is the wizard. And then Merlin shared a trailer of basically announcing the comic. I think that's what that is. And then Delta Mouse was playing with the Hero Forge mini tool. I freaking love that tool. It's so easy to sink hours into that tool. But Delta Mouse made a version of their warrior. And then Delta Mouse also made some really cool images of a yellow hat chronomancer wizard. Sharon shared a really fun mini lore thread about her warrior Kathleen. Wizard Small did a fun version of Daniela Lustra's wizard, the small, or sorry, of her warrior, a small version of her warrior. Tabitha of the Marsh is just saying to the moon. Tabitha standing on the moon, pointing at planet Earth. Let's see what else. Small Protect made a fun. I think it's a video, a crossover of Souls and Shadow Hats. I need to look at that. That looks cool. I haven't watched it yet. Hen Boyd has been making fun graphics as always. In addition to hosting Magic Monday News. Bear, were you on the last episode of Magic Monday News?
I was in the office and I was listening. I'm like, you know what? I'm going up there, and I totally derailed them from their show, but it was super fun. It was awesome. They were like talking about the comic, and I'm like, oh, like biting my tongue. I'm like, I'm going up. So yeah, it was awesome. I love that show so much.
Speaking of the comic, come up here now, Gene.
Yeah, and then just finally, like we said at the beginning of the show, Black Sands race is underway. There's a new race. It's the Elysian Circuit. So if you're not racing, you still have time. Some wizards are still sitting on the starting line. So go join the race. But yeah, speaking of comic, anything more to say on that?
Let me just tee you up now, Gene. I know I've given you credit and all that stuff. I just want to say one more time, and probably not the last time. Now, Gene, thank you so much for everything that you've done. It wouldn't have happened without you. Now, Gene's been by my side, and because we're so busy doing so many things, and I'm completely insane running from one thing to the next. Now, Gene's been my constant, and you've done a great job. So, why don't you give the people some information? We're going to post some links tomorrow, but let them know what's coming tomorrow morning.
Bear, thank you so much for your kind words. It's been a pleasure to work on the comic. This is technically my first appearance on Wizard Wednesday, so that's something.
Let's go!
But yeah, so as Bear said, the order link is going live tomorrow morning. Thank you so much for your support already ordering them from the EU, which was awesome. But I mean, I guess you'll have to see when you get it. I don't know what more to say about the comic. I think it's been a pleasure to work with Riley and the team to bring it to life. So I'm excited to hear the cult feedback, and just stoked.
So yeah, so I'll just do a little bit more color. So tomorrow, there's a couple ways to buy it, and I'll quickly walk through it. But there's a micro site on Titan's larger site that we'll link and we'll walk you through. So essentially, you can buy it. You can buy it through your local comic book store. There is this comic store locator website that is run by Diamond, which is like the master distributor that Titan and all the publishers work with. You can type in your zip code and it will point you in the direction of your closest local comic book store. You can check that comic book store's website. They should have like an order link there, or if they don't, you can call them and you can just over the phone say, you want to pre-order 1,000 issues of Forgotten Roots issue number 1. Let's break some records. But if you don't want to do that, you can go to, there's another site that is a shop that's based out of New York that can like ship to you. And you can do that directly. And there's also going to be options to buy it digitally on like Mixology and all that stuff. But what I would say is, if you're open to it, for all you super fans out there, all you real hardcore cult members, it is very helpful for people to order through their local comic book store. Because what ends up happening is these comic shops, there's many, many, many new comics being released every Tuesday of every month of every week. And if they get calls from people about this new comic, and that basically generates some, like, it pings them and shows like, okay, there's signal here, there's interest in this new comic book shop. I should probably order like X percentage more. So there's a little bit more sort of bang for not bang for your buck, but like it helps increase overall general awareness if you're ordering from your local comic book shop. You don't have to do it, but that's sort of the rollout. The links will go live tomorrow morning, and yeah, here we go. It's the first of 10.
Yeah, so just to double down, what Bear's not saying is go buy the comic book, because if people buy the comic book, then they will want to do more of the comic books. Part of the like mechanic of the comic book is um, it's useful for the IP in all sorts of reasons. One, because we're working out with our lawyers. We actually have a call with our lawyers. We're working out with our lawyers a way to credit IP holders financially who helped contribute IP to the comic book. So it helps with the greater vision of like being able to build a decentralized IP. It helps within the world of Hollywood and gatekeepers there when it comes time to open doors there. The better that we can say that our comic book did, the more doors that are open to us in television shows, feature films, those sorts of things. So really like doing something like this, even the comic book is $4. So it's the price of gas to get one, right? And so I think if you're listening to this and you have time and you want to support the brand, you want Forgotten Runes to grow, the the impact of the sales of comic books is like bigger than just like going
It
up
has
and
a
picking
ripple
up a
effect.
physical. It has a ripple effect. There you go. Yeah. So buy the comic book.
Buy the
Yeah, I
comic
think
book, post pictures about the comic book, give them to your kids, to give them out at school. You know, be shameless, like just
Pass them
like
out for
Bear.
Halloween.
Pass them out for Oh, that's a good idea. Pass them out for Halloween. And by the way, the pre-order window is like a month long, so we'll be running other things, and there's other like projects and communities that we're collaborating with. And there's there's actually 3 different books with 3 different, well, sorry, same story but 3 cover variants. And yeah, go check it out, and it won't be the first time we're talking about it. We're going to try to be loud, share, and yeah, I'm really excited to start that, like, that, to prove the relationship between people who are contributing to the world, and revenue streams. I think that's what we're trying to do, right? Let's make a new paradigm between, like, fan and franchise.
Bear, Nalgene, excellent job on the comic.
Thanks, Elf. It was all Bear.
It was all you. And also Elf. And Elf was like overseeing with Joe, like all the stories. I mean, this is no light task, right? We have like 10 scripts working with Joe. Elf really, I mean, Joe's incredible, of course, on his own. But Elf really, it was his chance to sort of guide someone, a professional writer, into the world and sort of highlight all the, he was the one sort of curating what we want to do. The way the series is now. I'm going to start ranting, even though I wasn't going to say anything. The series is actually, it's episodic in that, or serialized in that every single episode is its own standalone story, and then towards the end of all 10 comics, they sort of, all the different storylines and characters start weaving together, and that is very, very difficult to do. And so, Alf, like, you did such a great job working with Joe, making sure that he really understood. There's a lot of weight on his shoulders doing this, and you were the historian. You were the person who came in and like really sort of brought him into the fold in a way where he could do his job properly. And that's that's what you do normally, and that's what you'll continue to do. And I'm just so stoked. It might seem like a small step, but it's quite a big step.
It's a huge step, and it's been really fun. But yeah, we are well over time. Any last minute words?
Stay freaking magic!
All right. And we lost Dotta near the very end. Dotta, any last words?
Stay magic.
All right. I want to thank Mike of Quest 64 Official for joining us.
Mike, join our Discord. We'll send you a link.
Yeah. If you're still there, Mike.
You already got a meme up top. Look in the pinned tweets.
Yeah,
Deliver my
we're
mail,
already memeing
Mike.
you.
Watch out for the birds.
Yeah. All right, this has been Elf, Dotta, Bear, Matto, Oz, Nalgene, and Mike of Quest 64 official, punching birds in the dick. And Shark Child with Charlord, regrowing Scorched Gardens. Channeling out from the Quantum Downs. GN, everybody.